So not a week goes by these days where Elphaba isn't doing something ridiculous. Today we're going to be looking at Elphaba addressing the haters and saying she's going to be in Broadway. She also claims she's been signed and she's about to start working with some big brands. And remember that documentary that was apparently being filmed? That gets brought up as well. And to top it off, she's been spreading her germs again. But anyway, welcome on in. I'm John5161. Subscribe or Elphaba will be hiding in your fridge.
I'm not a fan.
Okay, so I'm not a makeup guy, alright? I can't say I've ever applied it. But even I know this is weird. Using the testers things, I know you're supposed to put them like on the back of your hand or something. And obviously I'm aware the scabies era, that was a thing of the past. She's a previous Might host that clearly displays a lack of hygiene, and here she is using the testers with skin contact. And apparently these were actual products, like products for the public to buy. I don't know that for certain, but that seems to be the general consensus of this whole thing. Like this person here said they rang the store and apparently she's now banned. But if this is true, this is genuinely how things spread. Things like herpes? I'm not saying Elphaba has herpes, okay? But honestly, you could say she has anything at this stage and it wouldn't seem far-fetched. Every time I load up TikTok, someone's saying Elphaba has a new condition. Maybe that's where COVID started. But speaking of producing things, who remembers when Elphaba claimed she was about to be filmed and starring in a documentary?
A documentary? I don't know what the f***'s happening with that, to be honest. He hasn't replied to me in ages. So I don't know if it's happening or not, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Wow, who would have thought that? A documentary on someone who literally sits there and just gathers dust all day and literally does nothing. Who would have thought that that would end up not being filmed? But who would be creating this anyway? You're telling me that someone out there has sat through all those dissertations, all those A-levels, and they've left their studies and gone, you know what the world needs? A documentary on Elphaba. What would it even be called? Like the founder of scabies? All eyes on me because I'm live 24/7. But actually, yeah, how are you even gonna what is there to document? Elphaba literally live streams herself blowing her nose and making toast. There's nothing we haven't seen. We've even seen toilet accidents. Every time I go on the app, she's live, even if it's like just being sat there on the floor or falling over or something. And wasn't the trailer for the documentary posted like the end of 2023 or even like the start of this year? I guess the fall off was so hard that even the camera crew dropped out. But to be fair, if you want to see an Elphaba documentary, maybe just subscribe because my whole channel is one big Elphaba documentary at this point.
But do you know what? I feel like a documentary would be such a slow on me. I could so show you all the behind the scenes and give you how I feel and be asked questions that maybe you haven't had online. That'd be sick.
Behind the scenes. You literally just go live in your bedroom. Behind the scenes would literally just be someone standing in your doorway holding their breath. How lost as a person do you have to be to think there are scenes to be behind? Elphaba Orion Doherty TikTok is not this high production setting that you think it is. There's not runners, there's not DOPs, there's not someone operating the focus pull whilst the lighting gaffer argues with the camera operator. You stare at your reflection on a phone screen and thank people for giving you money for literally no reason. And then when the engagements drop, you just sit there and think of all the controversial things you can do to make sure all the views come back. That's literally your whole account summed up. No need for a documentary because I just covered it. But she also mentions being able to tell people how she feels. Don't you do that anyway? And if you don't, maybe just do it on your next live. I don't know. If it really matters that much to you, just give it a go. See what the reaction's like. You know that no one's going to care. This is TikTok. The only reason you have a following, and sorry if it sounds mean, is because you're lacking in the aesthetic department, and TikTok is one of the most brutal places to show your face, and engagements lead to videos getting more exposure. So people hating on you is only going to get you more exposure, and everybody has something to say about Elphaba, so that's how she's made her career. But moving on now, I saw this clip where she responded to the haters.
I think what I'm going to do from now on, and I was told this by someone in the business in Broadway, and they said, you just need to ignore the hate. You're on your way to stardom, you need to ignore these haters.
Yeah, Elphaba, you're on your way to stardom. Forget about the haters. Ignore all the people bringing attention to the vile things that you do online. I'm sure Broadway want a super spreader. I'm sure that's so high in their list when they're looking for new talents. And if there's one thing I think of when Elphaba's name is brought up, it's talent. But I guess now that Elphaba is ignoring hate, I should stop pointing out all the bad things that she does. Maybe I should stop making people aware of all the problematic and dangerous things that this absolute mess emits.
That's what I need to ignore. I just need to ignore it. Because I know I've got support, and I know I've got love, and I know I've got a few, it's not loads of people, but it's some support. And I prefer that. That was was a strong bit, that one.
Don't you hate it when your smart water gets to the strong bit? But bless you, Elphaba. You don't have support. You have deluded kids who send you money. And the rest of your chat is literally people laughing at you and calling you names. And of course you're going to prefer that, because no one's going to enjoy having negative comments. Especially someone who is destined to just ignore accountability for the rest of their life. But you make the fuel possible. The reason this bonfire's been going on for so long is because you keep providing the fuel. The big, stinky, problematic bonfire. But on a real, it does genuinely annoy me that Elphaba is still going on about just calling people haters when all they're trying to do is make her realise the things that she does and take accountability. Because I think we've all seen at one point, either whilst we're on TikTok or a video we've watched on Elphaba, she'll get someone on her live who she'll just end up having a bit of an argument with. Really, they're just trying to say, Elphaba, you do this, take accountability, realise what you've done, apologise, be a better person. And then Elphaba's just like, yeah, but it's a witch hunt. Yeah, but it's a witch hunt. Everyone's mean to me. And then she'll just shout over them. And then in her head, it's a big mega dub, which just kind of highlights her weird brain, if there is one. Because if I was this chronically online, if I had this lack of self-respect, and if I just, in general, behaved in this way, I would find a nice, quiet, cold cave to go and lie in. I'd be one with the stone.
I just, I can't afford this for my own mental health, because I'm sick of crying on my bed all the time about something like this. I shouldn't be crying about this stuff.
Okay, so the cycle continues. Does bad thing, gets bad reaction. Says mental health is affected, people will inevitably back off. Because as soon as Elphaba throws the bully word around, people don't want that associated with them. And that is kind of fair enough. It's not a nice title, and if that's seen out of context by your employer or someone you know in real life, well, it's not good, is it? But we all know that Elphaba is a manipulator. She will literally say that the haters are ruining her life. She could literally drink drive and wipe out a whole family, then get out the car and shoot some wild animals and then stab someone with the antlers of a moose. And then she'll get a comment saying something like, Elphaba, I don't like the way that you committed those acts of unaliving. Then Elphaba will reply being like, oh gosh darn you, you freaking frick, I don't like this, I'm gonna cry now. And then proceed to go on live and cause even more car crashes with her singing. Seriously, what are we doing? Dry shaving? As somewhat of a facial hair haver, I could feel that. Sorry, this is absolutely ridiculous. What am I doing talking about someone's shaving routine? But this is awful. The sound. It's atrocious. Why is this happening? Then she literally just goes on to shave her body for a whole live stream.
Might wax the asshole as well, who knows?
Not one bit of water used. What are we doing? Maybe I'm just a little fragile boy, but I'd literally be covered in redness if I did this. Literally, I'd look like Larry from SpongeBob. Not the muscles, just the complexion.
Sorry, I'm just like preparing for a man, you know what I mean?
Sorry you had to see this, but it's building blocks, it's foreshadowing, it's gonna make sense. Well, it's building up to this.
Well, Kane, you. You, Kane. Please do this to me. You always be like, I'm gonna stand you up, I'm gonna do this to you. I don't care. This is what I mean. Men are so rare these days.
Men are so rare. But clearly you do care. Maybe he just tuned into your live and seen you shaving with sandpaper. And apparently they were going to go go-karting.
We're going go-karting. Whee!
Now we're talking my language. If this video gets 10 likes, Elphaba has to race me. And if I win, she has to delete her channel. And if she wins, I'll never make a video on her ever again. Taking it well.
Wait. I got a giraffe.
Me when I vlog at the zoo. But this is the most animated we've seen her in the whole video. And of course, it's because of money. Are we surprised at this point? Because, well, I'm not. And the rest of this video, she just spends 2 minutes shouting at Siri and wiping her nose. I think we all know why she's doing that. But next up, something I'm sure many of you will find extremely interesting. She claims that she's been signed to a PR agency.
There are groups out there trying to stop me live my life and get PR and things like that and get in shows and stuff like that. And it's so refreshing to see, like, these brands not listening to the bullshit online and being like, do you know what? I'm going to give her a chance.
If you are a brand and you see Elphaba's TikTok and you think, I'm going to give her a chance, you should have any license that you have taken away from you. Because if you genuinely look at this TikTok and think, that's great for my business, I will definitely get involved there, then there is something wrong with you. And the PR agency in question, are you a miracle worker? Do you know what you've signed up for? You're telling me someone's gone into work one morning and been given with the task of making Elphaba seem like an advertiser-friendly person. I'd quit that morning. I would quit. Because clearly my bosses have no clue. This corner of the internet should be untouched to any company. If you're using Elphaba's exposure or Elphaba's reach to promote your brand, you clearly don't care about your brand's image, or you're an idiot. Because anything Elphaba has ever done online is then reflecting against your brand. So your brand then endorses faking cancer, faking autism, faking Tourette's, scamming people. Do I go on?
What's PR? Promo. So your girl's officially signed, which is awesome.
Yep, it's so awesome that someone is genuinely having to deal with Elphaba for their job. But Elphaba has been on another business venture of late, because instead of brand deals, Elphaba is now charging her viewers just to speak to her.
Guys, if you do want to chat, it will have to be a subscription. I'm doing my cameos.
Yeah, guys, if you want to speak to Elphaba, you now have to be a subscriber. And then she goes on to mention Cameo. So there are actually people out there paying for a video message from Elphaba. And we've seen what Elphaba's done with her cameos in the past. She'll literally record them whilst live. So that lovely, warm, wholesome moment that you're paying for to be exclusive to you, everyone can see. So if you were watching her live for whatever reason at the time, you've had your gift spoilt, I'm afraid. But clearly paying the money isn't as mad as I say it is, because people are actually doing it. And I know this because Elphaba recently decided to document a shopping haul. Yes, that's right, she's showing you spending the money you've given her.
I think I might buy this. Can try that one on.
So your total is £378 exactly.
That ain't actually bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, guys. That's a really fair price for a bag and some shoes. I hope you know that you're all funding this greed, because it's definitely relating to all of her audience, isn't it? Going out and showing how much money she has to spend, whilst then going back home and then begging for more. But to finish, as we started, let's talk about diseases again.
When it looks like this, bitch.
Okay, I'm not a medical man, but that does not look very nice. I wouldn't want that. But if the top comment is anything to go by, it looks like it's hidradenitis suppurativa. I'm sure that's completely accurate, which is apparently a chronic inflammatory skin condition. But I think everyone should probably calm down before we start speculating about what things you don't know do. Like, it seems like every time Elphaba gets some sort of skin condition, everyone's saying, oh, she's gonna get sepsis, she's gonna get sepsis. You don't always know that, so maybe just chill out. But just as I was about to wrap this video up, I stumbled across something ridiculous. These two absolute cretins are now friends. Maybe expect a video on that from me soon. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave today's video. I hope you'd enjoy. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know, small channel. And yeah, cheers. Bye.